All right, everybody, good morning. It is August 12th when this video is coming out, I do believe. I changed around a lot. New operating system, new phone even. I mean, we're going to hope this fixes things at least for a little while. But jumping into news, I've got a episode coming out later, a main episode I think you guys will like a lot. But jumping into news, here we have hackers return nearly half of the $600 million they stole in one of the biggest crypto heists ever. So $600 million was stolen by hackers from the Poly network, a platform that looks to connect different blockchains so that they can work together. Interesting. In a strange turn of events, though, hackers returned almost half the funds they stole. Why? Why would they return it? Why would they let themselves be tracked in that way? The Poly network disclosed the attack Tuesday to establish communication with hackers, urging them to return the hacked assets. The blockchain ledger is activities upon which various cryptocurrencies are based. Digital coin has its own blockchain. Okay, we know about it, right? Poly network is a decentralized finance platform. If these things can be hacked in upwards of $600 million, why are we so sure in their security? Why are we touting their strength? Why are we liking the decentralized model? I mean, honestly, I'm for taking out the middleman that is the banking system. But in this decentralized state, it seems like it's maybe actually making it easier for these things to happen. Now, you could also go PSYOP with this and say they were able to steal $600 million so as to stigmatize the decentralized banking system and the hackability of it. Why? Don't know. I mean, Poly network literally put its own, place it could put it on there. 7 a.m., 4.8 million have been returned. 258 million have been sent back. I think this demonstrates that even if you steal crypto assets, laundering them and cashing them out is extremely difficult due to the transparency of blockchain and the use of blockchain analytics. So maybe they feel like the hackers felt like, return the stolen assets and point out the vulnerabilities. In world news, interestingly enough, the Taliban has taken its 10th provincial capital in Afghanistan. This is worrying for those opposed to this. I mean, the Taliban is, backed by China now. They have maybe the financiers to keep this going. They certainly, in less than a week, capturing 10, are on pace to capture all 34. Right? Whether or not you think that is the best move for Afghanistan, whether you think, they're the ones we want in charge, completely your own call. Heavy fighting is still reported in Kandahar. The Taliban claim to have taken over the prison and released all of the inmates, although that has not been confirmed. Prisoners released all over the place. Meanwhile, the U.S. Embassy in Kabul said it's hearing reports that the Taliban was executing Afghan troops who were surrendering, saying it is deeply disturbed and could constitute war crimes. Now, the U.S. has said that it is not going to get involved and go to war over this. These are children, mothers, non-fighting men that are at risk, more so than any criminal, any Taliban insurgent. I mean, look at this map here. They are slowly but surely capturing the country. And doing so not in a wave. They are sporadic all over the place, closing in on itself. It's rough. I assume that, even by today when this video comes out, they'll have captured more, Next, from CNBC, herd immunity from COVID is a mythical thing with the Delta variant. Here from the article further down. Sir Andrew Pollard, head of Oxford Vaccine Group, told the British lawmakers Tuesday his COVID vaccines did not stop the spread of the virus entirely, with vaccinated people still able to be infected and transmit the virus. The idea of achieving herd immunity was mythical. I think we're in a situation here with this current variant where herd immunity is not a possibility because it still infects vaccinated individuals. That does mean that anyone who's still unvaccinated at some point will meet the virus. Okay. He goes into why it's important to be vaccinated and all of this. Okay. Per his own words there at the beginning, herd immunity from vaccination is impossible. Vaccinated individuals still get infected. Excuse me. It's time that we talked about if these shots aren't worth it. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know why the current White House administration is not using this data, these stats, the science as exact reason to say, look, if you'll remember from campaigns, we were saying that this was rushed and we're worried about it. Why aren't they using it as the political weapon that they normally would use these things as? But they haven't yet. They are staying right on narrative and chugging ahead. Speaking of the last administration, I found this very, very interesting. You'll remember our prior president called for a border wall, and he called for people to help him build it. Tommy Fisher erected a 3-mile-long fence on the Rio Grande for $30 million. And now, no one will buy it back from him. By trade of builder of more prosaic infrastructure, such dams and freeways, Fisher greets me by launching into a baffling sermon on the wall's technical specifications. I mean, this man's proud of his wall. He made a big one. He answered the call of a big, beautiful wall, right? But here, you'll see in this picture, the builder, the border, and the $30 million boondoggle. If I only did 1,000 or 2,000 feet, everyone's going to make fun of me. No one can really make fun of this. This is 3 whole miles. 3 miles. This man did an impressive, massive job. He thought he would be remembered for it, but now he's on the hook. And he's got $30 million that he didn't have anyone to buy. I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, why would Trump buy this wall back from him? He's not the president anymore. He has no... But if you'll remember, only a couple weeks ago, this man, Trump and his various groups were quoted as having $108 million cash on hand. So that's enough to buy this wall from it. I mean, it would show a lot of good faith from President Trump that he's serious about all this instead of just holding on to the money. Right here from LifeSite, Wisconsin Senate approves bill to dissolve dead bodies and dump them in the sewer. Alkaline hydrolysis or water cremation, which involves liquefying human body and dumping it into the remains of sewage, is already approved in 20 states. That's maybe more concerning even than just Wisconsin here approving it. Dead people in your tap water. I mean, Catholic teaching is centered on the life and dignity of the human person because each person is created in the image and likeness of God. The heart, mind, and flesh, bones of a human person are all elements of the unique creation, down to the DNA, which must be honored even after death. Our concern with the alkaline hydrolysis remains the washed into the wastewater system as though the body created by God never existed. They make points here, right? Even more so than that, on a sanitary level, I don't know where these bodies, end up. I get that we're running out of land. I get that we're running out of space, that we're worried about the efficacy of burying people anymore. But the number one most renewable resource being, dead people, I'm not sure that we can get there yet. I'm not sure that we can go that dystopian. Now, one of the funniest things of the last day or so, Biden demands OPEC boost oil production amid rising gas prices. White House is pressuring OPEC and its allies to boost oil production in a bid to tackle rising gasoline prices. Didn't this man stop the Keystone Pipeline? Boy, that would sure be nice to have right now. I'm just saying. Higher gasoline costs, if left unchecked, risk harming the ongoing global recovery. Price of crude oil has been higher than it was at the end of 2019 before the onset of the pandemic. Okay, we were doing a pretty good job. We were making more oil than we were consuming, actually, by the end of 2019. I mean, it just seems like out of touch for it to be asked. Why do we want to instead go rely more on foreign production? more of the government. The Senate passes a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, sending a key part of Biden's economic agenda back to the House. The chamber will move to approve a budget resolution that would allow Democrats to pass their $3.5 trillion spending bill without Republican votes. I mean, this bill, it has not been released publicly yet. I'll say that first. It's like 23,000 pages. I don't know how anyone's actually read any of this. How anyone knows actually everything that in signing this bill into law will actually be allowed to be happening. I would like to assume that they do. But we also know that they're not asking their constituents if they want this passed. They're not asking their constituents if they're okay with this, this, and this. They are passing agendas that they want passed. Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act will modernize and upgrade our roads, bridges, ports, and other key infrastructure assets. Okay, this is a lot sounding very similar to the New Deal. This is, a lot of people have said, the Green New Deal rewritten. I mean, I know for a fact that in the language, there's things on identity politics. There's things on, child care, paid leave, climate policy. There's lots of reconciliation and a lot of things that they tell us that they care about, but that is so much more language and so many more pages than just the good things they're telling us about. I've covered bills before. I've read them at length in total, and they never have as much talked about publicly as actually is in them. The target is September 15th to finish writing their portion of the final legislation. The bill would have to work its way through both chambers of Congress. We've got time to call our representatives to tell them that we want to know what's in this, that we want to know things about it, that we want them not to vote on it the way they are. The Democrats can't lose a single member voting yes to this bill for it to pass. So technically speaking, all it takes is one, and that would be huge to me. Now, we all know a lot of like the Dixie Fire in California, but that's like not all. Here we have massive wildfires in Greece. We have massive fires in Algeria. We have fires in Italy. I wonder why. I mean, at the same time as you have loads of wildfires, 500 infernos here in Italy, massive blazes in Algeria, California, you also see loads and loads of flooding. I mean, more than ever before, this is quietly becoming very apocalyptic out here. I mean, good on them. They're pushing their climate change agenda. Whether these are purposeful or naturally caused, I mean, this shit is happening, and it is got to be a wake up call. We know that we are fucking the earth. We know that we are. But all at the same time, you have Bill Gates, Michael Bloomberg, and Jeff Bezos investing in companies to mine all of Greenland. This is kind of speaking out two sides of your mouth from a lot of these people that tell us we have to focus on climate change. They're not focusing on it. They want you to focus on it so that you're not focusing on what they're doing. I mean, I just call on all of you to be weary and to be looking for the opposite side of what's on the news. If they're saying that this is happening, look for what else is happening that this would be a response to. I mean, I know all of you here are brilliantly smart individuals. We've got to come together. We've got to talk about things. We've got to protest. We've got to make known our voices. And it's a time. It's an unfamiliar, strange, uncommon time, and that is when change has the potential to occur more than any other thing. And so I really do think that if not now, then soon is the time that change needs to happen, and we will need to answer the call of action to make it so. There's no more trusting the plan. There's no more waiting. There's no more thinking these people have our best interests. So I appreciate all of you being patient. I'm up and running again. I no longer have a day job for non-compliance, and I'll let you guess or not guess what I'm not complying to. But here comes some videos, and I've got my head down, and they're coming hot and heavy at you. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you much. We'll be seeing you very soon.